Hey everybody. So today I am working on a Craftsman audio system, and long story short, there was a gentleman who donated this console and a custom cabinet with beautiful wood, and he said he had gone through the electronics, and so I just automatically assumed, oh, that means it's been overhauled, so I'll just go ahead and start on the cabinet, which needs some work. And I got that done, and then I started opening up the electronics and realized that yes, they haven't gone through, meaning everything has been kind of probably looked at. It does work, but this is, from what I can tell, all factory original. All of that needs to be replaced. Now granted, it looks like there's a few newer components in here. Down here is a Rubicon. There's another one up here, but this looks like it's factory. And we had it playing yesterday thinking, what's been overhauled? It sounds really good. AM and FM worked well. What I'm going to start with is the amplifier. It's been partially overhauled, but this guy, I'm not sure if it's going to wind up in our museum or if it's going to wind up for auction or one of our sales. I don't know, but it needs to be overhauled fully if it's going to go back out into the general public, because I don't know, someone might decide to use this every day of the week. I'm going to put the tuner away. I'm going to get the amplifier. Well, it's nothing glamorous here. It's just a push-pull audio 6v6. This is probably two 6SN7s. No, 6J5, 6SN7, and a 5Y3 rectifier. Simple as apple pie. Easy peasy. And what do we have for electrolytic capacitors here? 40, 10, and 25 microfarads. And this one is 60 and 40 microfarads. I'm just going to put 47 450 microfarad rated capacitors for all of them because it's easy. Let's see what's going on down here. Turn down the contrast. The metal is see if I can close in a little bit. I have another camera coming in real soon. I keep on saying that. Got to get this camera out of the way so my nose isn't in the camera. We got one replacement here. Long wiggly lead. All right, I'm just going to redo all of this. Just going to pretend like I didn't see that. Well, if you're new to working on vintage electronics, the aluminum cans I looked at up top, those are the electrolytic capacitors, and they're what basically comes and smooths out your ripple coming off your AC. Otherwise, if they go bad, you're going to hear this awful loud humming noise. We call it AC hum or motorboating. But I don't trust this capacitor. It looks like it's either original or it's a very old replacement. I don't see any evidence of any trauma here, so I do think that it indeed is the original electrolytic. Doesn't mean it's bad, but it's cheap insurance just to replace them anyway. It is relatively inexpensive. I mean, you're talking like a couple of dollars for an electrolytic. See if I can. First of all, where's my. God damn it. Oh, here we go. My reading glasses. Sip of my Mountain Dew. Oh, the shit's bad for you, but I quit drinking, so I figured Mountain Dew's got to be lesser evil of drinking. Brings back fond memories of working in the lumberyard and having to get up at the crack of dawn and getting really used to drinking Mountain Dew at 5 a.m. Screw it. All right, let's cut this out of here. Anyway, I wish I could get a shot of the console this came out of, but I'll describe it. The whole reason we said yes to this is because it's a handmade cabinet, or either that or a very expensive custom cabinet, and the veneer is made entirely out of curly maple, and it's gorgeous. It practically glows when that light hits it. And ordinarily I would say, no, we don't need any more 1940s consoles, but this one is, it's gorgeous. Seems to be some sort of impervious solder. All right, there we go. There's one of those. Just because I like to leave nice and cleanly. Cut that guy off. Make sure and get your good capacitors too. These are Nishikons, and they're 105 degrees Celsius rated capacitors. Anyway, I'm not as familiar with this brand, Craftsman. I've seen them. I'm assuming it was maybe a mail order brand. It's not the Sears Craftsman for sure, but it's Craftsman. And I'm guessing maybe it was an earlier hi-fi company or a hi-fi equipment maker. I've never worked on one, even though I've seen them. It seems reasonable. Let's see. What does it say back here? Craftsman RC-2 Hi-Fi amplifier. The Radio Craftsman Incorporated in Chicago. Well, I think it's pretty well made. It's got some good heavy-duty iron, as some of us would say. Seems like it's got some good transformers on it. Cinch this up a little bit. I'm not too happy with that. There we go. Not really sure what area this is. I'm thinking it's got to be post 1947, because on the dial on the tuner, it's got quote unquote new FM. New FM was 88 and above. and this one has 88 and above only. And there was a transition period between 1945 and 1947 where some companies were putting both existing at the time FM and then future FM on the same dial. So two FM dials. I know RCA, General Electric, they all had these Zenith had these multi FM band radios in that time period. And this one has only new FM. So I would date it 1948, 1949, maybe even early 50s. Or I could do like most people who are smart and looking on their phones. I don't feel like doing that. Okay, that's one section. Anyway, the console that this goes to has a side speaker. And I remember when we got it yesterday, I was like, yeah, I bet it sounds pretty good. Meaning like, yeah, it'll sound good, quote unquote good for 1940s technology. And we'll all be like, ooh, isn't that nice for, again, 1940s technology. But what I didn't know when we fired it up is that the side speaker is a 15-inch Jensen, like a gigantic fucking speaker. And not just any gigantic speaker, but a really, really nice Jensen speaker. And we had this thing going in the backyard, and I had a audio cable running my audio through it, and it was just booming away. And I had to check myself again. It's like, what's the amplifier in it again? A pair of 6V6s. But again, like the speaker is really good. You can have a speaker that operates on very low wattage that will sound phenomenal. I think it's confusing because when I was a kid, it was like, you get a boombox. It was like, this boombox has 3,400 watts per channel. Back then, when hi-fi came out, you were happy to have 5-10 watts. You were going to spend serious money. You were going to get like 25 to 50 watts. Craftsman. Well, it's not a Sears Craftsman. It's a separate company. It's the Radio Craftsman of Chicago. The Craftsman you're thinking about is Sears Craftsman, and their electronics brand was Silvertone. And I think that brand has been gone for a real long time, and along with most of Sears. Alrighty. What's the voltage on that? 250 volts. Okay, all I've got is 160 and 450, so I guess I'll have to go overkill on that one too. Crap, I hate using expensive parts for no reason. Actually, I got these cheaper leftover 400 volt capacitors. A grocery bag of these capacitors because they're kind of not practical for most transformer based electronics. You at least want 450, but 400, I don't know about that. Maybe if you can confirm that it's always going to be at 250 and under, I could buy that. I love how OCD everything in this thing is. It's all at right angles. Then again, like I said, this thing was working really well yesterday. We were really blown away by it. And that's on mostly what apparently is original electronics. It blows me away. I was talking to one of my friends. It's like we work on this stuff, and it's easy to think, oh, the poor frail electronics, when in reality, stuff survived for a very long time, and a lot of it still works. And it works as well as it did coming out of the factory, oftentimes with mostly original electronics. Again, a lot of factors are involved with that: the quality, where it was stored, whether or not it's been regularly serviced. How is that attached? Oh, here it is. Just looking for other convenient grounds that I can use. So that's one. Got a couple more. Sometimes this is like playing Tetris. It's like working up shove crap. Sometimes if I cut these things off, it gives me more room. Where can this go? right, there we go. Destruction. Okay. That is not a Phillips, that is a Sprague. Sprague, which was basically one of the biggest brands here in the U.S. They and Cornell, and I'm trying to think of the other big brands. Cornell's still around. Not sure who owns them though. It's probably all made in China now. You can buy American capacitors, but they cost a fortune. It's like for audiophile people, which I don't understand the allure of spending shit tons of money on capacitors. Tell you what, I don't like that. I'm gonna sleeve that. So let me just pretend for a minute that I'm gonna do that. This makes me feel uncomfortable. It's funny because, like, on the other hand, like, we have a whole bunch of these Lodge cast iron pans. They were just always around when I was a kid because they were cheap, real cheap. You get at Walmart, take them camping or whatever. And they're still dirt cheap, and they're still made about 200 miles from where I grew up. You can buy, I think Mallory, you can buy Mallory brand caps, and those are American made. And if they're anything like the Mallories that I've encountered in the past, and if it's something you very cherish dearly, then maybe it's worth it. Because every time that I run into equipment from even the 40s and 50s that has Mallory electrolytic capacitors, and if it's my stuff, as in like my personal things, and I see that, I'm like, it's probably okay. I'm just going to leave it alone. And I do. You back already? Oh, okay. My wife and her mother are going to go singing. Actually, they're not going to go singing. They're going to watch people sing. I was cleaning up. I did not like what that previous person had done. And why it needs to look neat, I don't understand, but to me, it just makes me feel better. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. It's because I'm fucking OCD, and I've been OCD in my life. And you know what? That is okay. I'm proud of being OCD. Better than I used to be, though. When I was younger, I remember I had a business where I mowed lawns, a lot of lawns, dozens of lawns. And this is in rural Tennessee, where as soon as it gets warm, which it is warm for a considerable amount of the year, the grass starts growing like you would not believe. It's like an ocean of grass. And not just any kind of grass, but like, just you live in a tropical jungle type of grass. So you had to mow the yards every week, sometimes more than once a week, because the grass was growing so quickly. And so I had a whole fleet of lawnmowers. I was probably the only person with a lawn mowing business where I would clean and wax all of my lawnmowers. I had the most beautiful fleet of lawnmowers ever. I was right proud of them. I would look at all the other mowers with disdain. It's like, look how filthy they are with their treatment of their lawnmowers. So can I run it through here? It's funny too, because a lot of my mowers were really ancient machines that were on either engine number 1 or 2 or more. There were certain brands of engines that I knew were just going to blow up at some point immediately, and the worst engines that were around 30 years ago, it seemed like all the engines made by Tecumseh were awful. And if I had a riding mower that had one of those engines on it, there was going to be a very good chance that it was going to break the stupid plastic slinger gear that was supposed to sling the oil up into the engine, and those would break. And then, of course, the engine would starve of oil, and then the piston rod would come shooting through the block. Back then, Honda engines were way too expensive. So the next best thing you could get was a Briggs & Stratton. Except the Briggs & Strattons, you could, I swear to God, you could probably run sand in those things, and they would just keep on going, because I would get these things in for repair. Not really repair, but sometimes just a service. And if it was a Briggs & Stratton and it had been beat to smithereens, like, it looked like liquid sludge coming out of the crankcase, it would still run fine somehow. And you'd be like, how is it still running okay like that? And I think it's just because it was maybe not the most meticulous, amazing design, but it was kind of a durable design. Now I'm not so sure. I think they've changed along with everybody else. All right, I feel pretty happy about that now. Now, I think it would be kind of boring to have you guys watch me restore the tuner chassis. So I'm going to take a look at the record player next because it's got a wonderful record player. Well, I need one more can. Crap. Let's see, what do we have here? It is a Garrard model RC-80. And what I want to do is get this guy to lift off because I need to see what's going on with the rubber bits because it was getting stuck yesterday. Unless this just lifts off, which I don't think it, oh wait, it does. There it goes. Ah. Well, that's not wonderful looking. That definitely looks like it is not the best surfaced either. And I don't know if I have anything that is remotely close to that. Now, maybe I could temporarily rejuvenate this. But long story short, that's cracking. Let me look in my bag of tricks, aka idler wheels. If anything, it looks even remotely close to that. I don't think so. No way. Well, tell you what. I need to have something today to get this to work. So I'm going to pull a little nasty trick. I'll take this off. The rubber's gone. Let me get something to put the parts in. Otherwise, it looks like we have some belts down here. I think belts are pretty standard. They're pretty rotten. Let's see if I have any replacement belts. Okay, that'll replace that. But the rubber mounts for the motor are hosed. Put this away. In fact, I'm going to put all this crap away. I want to get this thing apart. Trying not to lose anything because I lose everything. That motor seems very happy. I'm not concerned about that. It's got a replacement cartridge in it. Let me take this. Actually, I think you can just take this off. Just pull out. Okay, good. I'm going to put this up here so I don't mess it up. What the hell is that? Capacitor's going across the mains, I believe. If that's the case, that's not wonderful. I'll need to find a better solution for that. Now, the mounts for the motor are hosed. They need to be replaced. Everything otherwise is really clean. It's very clean, which is what I like to see. I've learned it's wise to try to observe how things are put together before you start pulling parts off. And it looks like this all comes out in one unit. Okay, that's good. I will hands down happily work on either an American or a British record player over most German record players any day. And I'm not sure if it's because of the oil or grease that was being used in Germany, but it seems like a lot of the record players I get from there are completely gummed up and stuck, very stuck. And it's like it must be whatever gunk they're using. And so some of even the fancy record players, like Dual, I've had worse luck with Dual record players than any brand of any other record player. And when I was younger and dumber, I've spent a lot of time trying to get them to work right. And for a while, I was like, maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. And then I met an actual record player guy, just swap meet. It's like, oh yeah, I won't touch duals. I'm like, forget it. I was like, good, I'm not the only one. Those are probably not going to free up. It looks like they put shellac on the nuts. How nice. Let's see. Nah, it's just old grease. Especially do not want to lose any of these things. Yeah, that was being a pain. Where's that going through? Oh, I see. Tighten this up down here. Oh, come on. That's what I get for singing the praises of this thing just a minute ago. All right, I discovered its trick. There's two. There's one more to go. I need to get this knob off the top here. Okay. Awkwardly get this out without making a fucking mess. Rotten, all right. Let's see. There's lots of little crumbly bits here. See if I got everything. Put this crap away. I need to shove this out of the way so I can look at the motor. Pretty clean. Just want to make sure everything that moves on this is nice and greased up. I use synthetic motor oil. That's never going to go bad. This even has little oil holes where you can add oil. Even though I'm assuming it probably is fine. This doesn't hurt. It's good for the bearings. Ah, there's an oil hole up here too. Okay, that's a nice. Man, I love crap like this. It is such an interesting mechanism. Where did my PB blaster go? Alright. What I have found, and I'm not sure if this is legitimate, is if I put just a little PB blaster, not a lot, on old mechanical parts, it will generally dissolve all the old grease pretty easily. You don't have to use a lot of it, which I like. I say as I accidentally squirt too much on there. So I'm going to do is let that kind of sit there and marinate for a little while I proceed with getting some new mounts for this thing. First I need to dig these brass pieces out of this rotten rubber. Come on now, where's my nippers? There's one brass piece. There's another brass piece. Here's the 3 nuts. Okay, here's some washers. Yes, you're literally watching a video about me getting shit off of washers. All right. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some new grommets for the motor to sit in. I'm not going to do this. Let's see. There's one grommet. Oh. All right, here we go. Get in there, buddy. There's 2. And the other one fell on the floor. It's okay, I'll just get another one. Okay. Question is, will that be high enough for this to successfully hit the platter? All right, where's the idler pulley? pretty close. In fact, I would say that is absolutely just fine. I'm going to leave it alone. So let me put some washers on top. Whoops, I just realized the camera's not looking at what I'm looking at. Sorry. Seems like it could go down just a little bit. I'd feel a little bit better if it did. Whoops. I'm going to show you a little trick. I just need to add a little bit of height. So I'm going to cut some grommets in half. Rubber grommets, that is. Yes, I can get away with this because this is my redneck heritage. Lord knows we love to redneck the crap out of everything. All right. That's more like it. Just feels better. I can see the wear marks on the motor where it was hitting the idler pulley. I was like, well, obviously that's where it goes, so I should probably observe that same position, or I'll be sad because it won't work right. Okay, there we go. Okay, let me get this shit out of the way so I can get my soup cans back in alignment. Now what I want to do is actually test fire it to see if the motor is working well. Before I do that, let me put all this crap that's on my workbench away so I have more room. I've just completely cluttered it up. Don't do anything that you're about to see in these videos. I am an idiot. All right. And the motor's on. Wow. That is so nice. Like the movement is very, very nice. I like that quite a bit. It's stupid what I get excited about. All right, let's put some better belts on there, because the ones that were on it were hosed. That's one of the original ones. Okay, there's one new belt. All right, let's try that again. You can't even hear that. That's so quiet. Okay, now can't imagine this friction wheel is going to do any good, but let me try it out anyway. Before I do that, I'm actually going to go over to the sink. I'm going to get this thing really hot in the hot water and clean it up real good. Sometimes that temporarily softens up the rubber. But I'm going to have to go to the museum and see if I can find anything that'll substitute this, because this is not going to work. I'm going to give it the generic sandpaper treatment. Nothing really left to lose here. Okay. It's actually gripping pretty hard. Whoops, I just hit the damn camera again. All right. Not sure what speed that is. Yeah, that's obviously 78. That's fast. Try not to dump the record player off of the cans. All right. Guess what I could do is try attaching the knob to it. Wouldn't that be a novel idea? Right. That was a very hateful knob to get back in there. Wait a minute, that went all the way through. Crap. Okay, that's 33. That's 78. That's 45. That seems reasonable. The question is, does the record player actually still change records? I'm not familiar with this one. I don't know, that's weird. I don't know. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. Let me get the head for it. So I'm not familiar with this record player at all. All right, start or reject. Oh, I see. Hold on. my God, I'm like being made a moron out of this. How the fuck is this supposed to get? All right, anyone used one of these before? All right, I want to see if it just does anything. Set speed, operation, place, put your 10 records, spindles, and switch on. It's not quite making it through the cycle. That could mean the mechanism just needs to be oiled. They're all the kids on the motorcycles. Okay, I think I understand it now. All right, well, I realize it's been about an hour and 20 minutes, and I cannot believe I've just been filming, working on a record player, but keeping my mind off of some things going on in my family right now. And so anyway, take care, everybody, and I'm going to do some more work on the cabinet outside since it's I can't believe this. It's like early March, and it's hotter than hell in my garage, so I kind of need to get out and cool off a little bit. All right, see y'all later. Have a great evening, or good. Actually, it's yeah, it's like maybe like, what time is it here anyway? The time changed. I wish they wouldn't change the time. It's stupid. All right, it's 3:30. So see y'all later, and have a great week.